Go live with the main stream. Are you ready?
Ready.
We're going live. I think we're started. Woo!
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
Come on, YouTube. Get those cogs working. Come on. Okay. I think we're here. We're live. High five.
Yay. High five.
It's been like 3 weeks
I know.
since the last live stream, and we're very sorry about that, but we've had some stuff that we've had to do in real life that just basically took it out of us the last 2 weeks. We really wanted to, but like I think last week we were really close to it, but just basically collapsed because things have been going crazy in our lives. But we are back.
Hi everyone.
We are back for a live stream, and although there's been a lot going on, I mean, it would have been great to do like a Tokyo Game Show recap and everything, but it was a week ago now, over a week ago.
Numeral? Oh, we have 8, not 9.
Where?
On the thing.
What thing?
Wait, where?
Where? Where do we have the wrong Roman numeral?
Where did we put 9?
Oh, in the description. I didn't change it.
Oh, good job, Daryl's.
That's fine.
Good job, Daryl.
Anyway.
See, people do pay attention.
People do read the descriptions, apparently. That's good to know. Anyway, so we're talking about Final Fantasy 9 today, just so you know.
Yeah.
We already did talk about Final Fantasy 8. But anyway, because of that, we wanted to do Final Fantasy 9 today instead of talking about Tokyo Game Show and all that stuff, because we can talk about that any other time. We've got a podcast come out on Tuesday. We'll talk about it then. So we really wanted to the Final Fantasy 8 one we did, we discussed with you guys about what Final Fantasy 8 meant to us. Like, it went down really well. So with Final Fantasy 9 recently re-releasing on the PlayStation 4, and there being quite a lot of excitement around that, we figured it would be a great time to do Final Fantasy 9. Especially because when we did a podcast about it, was it last year?
Yeah, something like that.
Where we kind of talked about like the different elements that we really enjoyed about it. People absolutely loved kind of remembering different parts of Final Fantasy 9 and just kind of... It was really nice to just kind of discuss it all. Have you changed the description, by the way?
Oh, no, I haven't changed the description.
Yeah, just change the name, Roman numeral, and everyone will be happy.
Yes. Okay, so Final Fantasy 9. How many of you guys are there any of you guys who actually entered into the franchise with Final Fantasy 9, or were most of you of the era where you either got into it later or you got into it with 7 or 8, and then 9 was kind of the game that you played because you played the previous games? Because I feel that the 9 is... It's kind of a game that got a bit shafted when it came to the Final Fantasy releases, because 7 and 8 had such a big hype around them. They both sold massive amount of copies, and Final Fantasy 9 came right at the end of the PlayStation 1 era. Like, the PlayStation 2, I think, may have already released in Japan. What was it? Sorry.
The PlayStation 2, I think it may have released in Japan when Final Fantasy 9 had come out. But either way, it was like right at the end. It was kind of like Persona 3, right? Was it Persona 4 that came right at the end of the PlayStation 2's life cycle?
Persona 4.
Okay, yeah. And like, I feel as though Final Fantasy 9, as a result of that, like, the attention just wasn't there. Like, the hype just wasn't there in the same way that it had been for the previous games. People were already looking at the PlayStation 2, Final Fantasy 10, what's this going to be capable of. They'd probably been seeing some trailers for Final Fantasy 10 maybe at that point, where maybe they were just getting to the point where they were kind of announcing it. But I feel like for Final Fantasy 9, it didn't get as much attention as it deserved at the time. I think it barely scraped 5 million copies, whereas the previous, like, Final Fantasy 7 and 8 had sold 8 million plus.
To be honest, I didn't even know it was releasing. Like, I mean, at that point in time, I was one of those people who just kind of was in and out of the Final Fantasy series. Like, I never really followed a Final Fantasy development, actually, until much later. And Final Fantasy 9 was the one where I was just like, oh, this released? Oh, okay. And I only realized that it released because one of my friends
had gotten it for his birthday, and we watched him play it on his bed at his birthday party. And yeah, we were all like crowded in his room, and I was just like, this is really strange. Like, this is nothing like Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy VII. I was just like, what is this boy with this tail, and what is going on? What is with this style?
I mean, for me, so I must have been... Well, I was in my teenage years when Final Fantasy IX came out. And when Final Fantasy VII was my kind of accidental entry into the franchise, Final Fantasy VIII, I hadn't become so indoctrinated that I really knew what Final Fantasy was at that point. But I got Final Fantasy after it was released. I didn't really get into... I got a little bit hyped about it, but I wasn't too interested in when it was releasing or the release of it. Final Fantasy IX, though, was very different. All my friends had it on pre-order. I was just so excited for its release, and when it came in the post, I was just so happy.
Happy Daryls.
Happy Daryls.
Happy Daryls.
And yeah, like played the crap out of it, but at the time it just didn't really click. I think it was the same reason for you. Like, it was just like, this isn't what I remember. Like, from the two games I played, like, this wasn't. It was different to Final Fantasy. There were parts of it that were the same, but there were parts of it that were different. And the graphical style was very different.
It's not what you're used to, unless if you played like the older games, the older SNES games. And it's like, I hate to be that kind of person who's just like, this is not the Final Fantasy I asked for. And I'm not really angry about it, but like, it is you can't deny that it is completely different from anything we were used to. And if you came into it during 7 and 8. But like, with that being said, time heals all wounds, and I really have come to appreciate Final Fantasy IX for what it is. Especially since I went back and played all the older games and realized that this is like really a tribute game to the series and a love letter to the series. I've really come to enjoy it for what it was, and
I think doing that podcast episode where we broke it down into really the characters and the story and the music and stuff, like, I think we both had the same thing when we were talking about it. We were like, theoretically this game is amazing, but why didn't we think that at the time?
Yeah, because why didn't it grip me? I remember just feeling so annoyed when I played it, and like, especially when they sort of pulled an Aerith on you and then made Garnet silent for a long period of time during the game, making her pretty useless. I was just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm done, you know? But like, it is actually like a decent game.
Well, actually, it is a decent game.
Yeah, actually.
It's only decent.
No, like, I do love Final Fantasy IX, and I do want to play it again. Everybody's asking us if we were going to get on PS4. I think I'm going to start with Steam, because I actually kind of prefer playing the Final Fantasy games again on Steam.
Using a console controller.
Yeah, I just like it. I like having everything around. But
I would say, though, that I think Uematsu has said that Final Fantasy IX is his favourite soundtrack. I still don't know how I feel about the soundtrack. I mean, before I get onto that, where would you guys rank Final Fantasy IX in your spectrum of games? Like, how many of you guys would say it's your favourite, or like top 3, top 5? Because I think there is a growing trend of people now saying it's definitely like top 3. Whereas for me, I don't know where I'd put it now, but definitely a couple of years ago, like, it didn't even
register.
No, it was, for me, it was the top 3 would definitely be 7, 8, and 10. And then it was kind of 9 was in the next group of games that I would just consider like a step down. But I don't know if I'd view it the same way anymore. I'm not sure.
Guys, calm it down. Calm it down in the chat. Calm it down. Everybody has a right to their opinions. Everyone has a right to dislike something. Everyone has a right to like something. Don't attack each other.
Yeah, I'd say Final Fantasy IX is definitely in the top 10, because there's only been 13 main series games if we're excluding sequels and MMOs.
But yeah, Final Fantasy IX is definitely in my top 3, just because theoretically
it's a good game.
Theoretically, it's a good game, but like it's not the one that I felt I connected with the most, which is why like 8 is there, because it's my first time. It's my first game, and
there's someone in the chat called Shantoto no Toto no.
I think
Final Fantasy 11 fist bump.
You just became Daryl's favorite person. But yeah, I just felt more connected with like games like Final Fantasy X, whereas Final Fantasy IX, I didn't have that as much a connection. But as I've gotten older, I definitely think like some of the themes that sort of went over my head at that point. And like I know some people were saying about like how Final Fantasy IX is a kid's game, but it is still dealing with very adult themes that you don't fully comprehend.
That's the kind
when you're that old. Because I was only like 12 or 13 when I first played Final Fantasy IX, and like it didn't even register in my brain that Vivi had died. Oh, that's a spoiler. Sorry.
The game came out. I know. It's just come out on PS4 again.
I know, but it didn't like those kind of things didn't register, and like the whole thing with Sir Fratley, like I kind of felt like I knew what was going on with Freya and Sir Fratley, but at the same time I was just kind of like I don't fully understand it. Like I can kind of like,
it was,
oh, she's missing her, but actually it's really depressing because he completely forgets her.
I think the whole Final Fantasy IX for kids just comes from the art style. Like it's that kind of cartoony. They wanted to go for something that was less serious. They'd had Final Fantasy 7 and 8 where it was based around kind of humanoid characters.
Well, is that like you see it as like this cartoony style and you see it as being kiddish, but it's really not. Like I mean the things that Kuja does is despicable. He completely destroys people. Braun is extremely abusive. And there are so many adult themes there. And like Vivi trying to accept the fact that he's like the only one of his kind, and like the people, the other ones who he sees like him are all just being produced in order to essentially die and be like these warriors. And then him coming to terms with his own mortality, the fact that he'll only last a year where everybody else will just live on. Like that's some pretty freaking heavy stuff that you just don't gauge. And like saying and trying to diminish it as just a kid's thing, it's almost like trying to diminish something like Disney, where
they had the extremely adult, even the fact that like with Sedan, like he's a clone. Like the fact that he thought he was this unique individual and found out actually, no, I'm not.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things like when you rewatch Disney films and you pull out things that are really touching. Like I can't watch Little Mermaid anymore without getting choked up, because I just think I made the exact same choices as Ariel in terms of leaving my past life to move to England to live with you. I associate with that and the leaving your parents behind.
It took away your mermaid tail.
It's like I can connect with that so much more now that I'm an adult. And I think the same thing goes for Final Fantasy IX. So, I mean, even just sort of simplifying it to just a kid's game, you can still get things out of it as an adult. You can still play Final Fantasy IX and see things there that you didn't see as a kid. Like, things that just went over your head. Like, it is still, like, a really intense experience. But, yeah. But that's just my thing.
That's just you. So what aspect of Final Fantasy IX did you guys think was the best? Did you think it was the characters, the story, the gameplay, which was obviously, it went back to the 4-party system. It was very different actually, in the sense that before the games had been about you've got to deal millions of damage and it's all about like how much damage you can do, blah blah blah, like really long battles, whereas Final Fantasy IX was like, actually the hardest boss in the game only has like 58,000 health. It's more like wait.
Daryl's like Sebastian. No, he's like Prince Eric. Come on, guys. He's Prince Eric.
Or did you think it was the music that was the best part of the game? Like, did you love the worlds? Like, what part of Final Fantasy IX did you think was the best? Like, what made it stand out and kind of speak to you as a game that deserved its place at like the top of the franchise? You're making people cry, Lauren.
I know. It is though. Like when everybody says that it's not a feminist movie and like all this stuff about how The Little Mermaid's awful, I'm just like, that's me. You're attacking me.
Personally.
I feel personally victimized. I didn't even like Ariel growing up, but like now that I'm older, I'm just like, I understand you.
So a lot of people saying the music, which is probably something. Oh dear.
Oh no.
I thought the music wasn't that great.
I think that there is some bits that I really like about the music. And
I think there are some tracks I really like in Final Fantasy IX. My issue was the fact that there was so much music.
I could have been a mermaid, actually.
Like there was too much music, I think, because not only do you have the Final Fantasy IX soundtrack, there's also Final Fantasy IX Plus soundtrack, which has all the overflow music in it. And like Melodies of Life is a great theme. I actually used it for my GCSE in music, my performance. But I don't know. I felt like there was too much music. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's like a valid criticism, but I just felt like that it wasn't as thematically good as the previous games were. Like I can't.
Well, I think like the thing is that I feel like with Final Fantasy IX, it was a bit, for lack of a better word, basic because it was really heavily inspired by stuff that they've done before, isn't it? There was a lot of stuff that was
to a degree, yeah,
like that pulled in. So they really tried to sort of make it like an ode to Final Fantasy, not necessarily its own unique experience, while also trying to make it its own unique experience. But like Nobuo Uematsu made like so many tracks for this, like over 160 or something.
Way more than that.
Like he just went crazy on this, which is probably why he was so burnt out by the time I got to Final Fantasy X that he was just like, bye guys, I'm out. I'm all creatively out. But like, I do like some of the stuff from Final Fantasy IX. Like I like Melodies of Life. I think it's pretty. But like when you compare that to like Final Fantasy VIII's like what Fisherman's Horizon or something, like Final Fantasy VIII had just such good music throughout.
I think that's so Min Kwan Sao has said that too much music, oh dear. Like I get your point in that it's Uematsu, obviously you want more music, but I feel like
you're basic. Yeah.
I feel like with Final Fantasy IX, like it was because there was so much music, you couldn't have the same thematic connections that you could with Final Fantasy 6, 7, and 8. I think it became a bit more difficult. Like obviously there are themes that you do just that resonate with certain areas. Like Frontier Village Dali is one that always kind of comes to mind for me. Like Burmecia, but like Ulver, like it doesn't just spring to my mind as to what that theme is. Like I can't place it.
Yeah, no.
And like that,
I mean, you have like You're Not Alone, which is like the token track of Final Fantasy IX. Like do. It's just intense.
I know exactly where that plays.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of
filler. There's a lot of filler tracks that I can't quite think about, and like there's a lot of really cutesy like yay sort of tracks and I'm not so much for. Like those are the tracks that I kind of like skip.
But that, Hunter's Chance, great scene. I can't remember the name of it, but the one where like Freya does her dancing at the top of Clara.
Well, there's like flamenco. Oh, what is it called?
Vala Flamenco.
Yeah,
but that wasn't a Final Fantasy IX specific.
No,
that was.
But then, I mean, you also have why are these names of songs failing me now?
Where does it play?
I can't remember. It's gone. It's finito. It's gone bye. Oh, Roses of May. Yeah, Roses of May is gorgeous, and Burmecia as well. Like there's so many. There are quite a few tracks that really stand out. Like Kuja's theme as well. Dark Messenger is really intense. I loved that theme for Kuja. I
liked Kuja's theme, but I didn't like the battle version so much.
I liked the battle version until it got into the battle bit. Like I liked the beginning.
I could never not associate it with Queen.
Oh, I liked the lead up, and then when it really got into the like bit, I was expecting it to go back and relate more to the beginning bit, but then it doesn't, and I'm just like, wait, hold on. I want to go back to this bit. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah. Kelsey Curls, we are talking strictly about Final Fantasy IX this episode, so if you want 6, you'll have to come back when we talk about 6.
You've been told. No.
Say we are not saying that anyone is inferior or your favorites don't matter. This is not a chat for Final Fantasy VI.
Devil's Lab is awesome.
Devil's Lab is awesome though.
So who was your guys' favorite character? Because I kind of struggle with that. I can't remember who we picked.
Oh, I can't remember who I picked now. But I would probably say like Vivi. Vivi is just so cute. And Freya.
I know Steiner was the one that probably annoyed me the most. I think joint with Aiko.
Yeah, Aiko irritated me. But there again, like I sort of think, well, she's really young. So she's
like 4.
She's meant to be
6.
Irritating.
Like
which is also kind of creepy when you think about the fact that she's so in tune with her romantic interests at 6 years old. Like, I love you. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking, ew,
I think a lot of kids kind of, they can get infatuated because but they don't understand the implications.
Yeah, but not to the extent that Aiko was at her age. I was more so just like, I want to kiss boys. No, I don't want to. Yeah, Freya's awesome.
So quite a lot of Vivis there.
Yeah, Vivi is so cute. I think he's just too adorable.
He is. And the relationship with Queen Aerith is great.
Oh, yeah. But Freya is awesome. Like, Freya is just so cool. She's so strong.
And then who would you guys say was your most annoying character?
Who's the character that you like?
Because I think that's the other thing about Final Fantasy IX is that compared to the games that had come previously, like if you're saying with Final Fantasy VII, who's your most annoying character? Like I think most people would probably say Yuffie. But there isn't one like that.
But not you, though.
The characters kind of blend a bit more. In Final Fantasy VIII, like the characters kind of blend. There isn't like a trope for annoying character.
Yeah, there is. Oh yeah, there is. Who? For me, there is. It's always the Yuffie, Selphie, Aiko.
But they're not actively.
Riku.
They're not actively like in your face annoying. Like they have like certain.
For me, when I first played the games, I could not stand them. Selphie was a bit on the other side. I could tolerate Selphie.
But like Selphie was just written as a girl.
Yeah,
who's
but Yuffie, Aiko, Riku, I just could not stand for the longest time. I can stand them now. I like them now. But like way back when I first played the games, I was just like, these girls better shut up or else I'm gonna stop playing. I was just like, you girls need to calm yourselves.
But you sure that like so Final Fantasy VIII, a lot of people would probably say Zell as well.
Zell I liked though, because I just thought he was just such a dweeb.
Ryan Tillett, we are still talking about Final Fantasy IX. Lauren has thrown some spoiler bombs.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately. But the game did come out 17 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But no, I mean, I also didn't really like the ingenues of most games. So I didn't like Aerith. I didn't like...
Aerith wasn't really...
I wasn't the biggest fan of Yuna. But now that I'm older, I kind of like her.
That's true. Thorn and Zorn.
Yeah.
I did not expect them to go all Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
At all.
That was really creepy. They're really creepy.
Yeah. I love the theme though.
Oh yeah, the Thorn and Zorn theme is really great. Good. It kind of reminds me of what's her name? Ormi and what's his name in Final Fantasy X too.
Logos.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of then Final Fantasy X too.
Oh, thanks, Meme Needle.
We got a donation? That's crazy. Yay. Oh, thank you.
It's very kind.
I know. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you.
But while we're on that note, actually, I don't know if you guys have checked out. We just did.
Braun. Aww.
We just did
No
a
love for the queen.
we just did a 32,000 subscriber special video. We're doing a giveaway. Lawrence, you've got them over there.
I do.
We
Let
are
me get
giving
them.
away some stuff. And say
We're giving away Balthy.
a Balthier Play Arts Kai.
He's sexy.
Stop playing with the magnets.
But it's so fun.
Stop it. Put it down.
Okay.
And then we have a little Moogle plushie as well.
Oh, look at him. Kupo.
Yeah, if you want to enter the draw for these, all you got to do is become a Patreon supporter. Lauren's going to put a link in the chat to that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only $1 if you want to just do like the bare minimum. It's not a massive commitment, hopefully. But if you want to stay as a Patreon supporter, then by all means, we really appreciate everyone who supports us. And depending on the tiers, you can get different things. So there's badges you can get for $4 per video, and if you do $10, like the creme de la creme, you can even suggest videos for us to cover.
I've been thinking about making some new badges as well.
Some new badges.
Yeah, I want to make some new badges. I just don't know what to make them of. Like, I don't know whether or not to make them of, if it's a bit narcissistic, making them of you and I. It's like, our faces. You can get a badge of my face and Daryl's face merged together. We'll just send them Allie.
On top of each other.
Yeah, we'll just send
That
them a
would be a
picture.
bit-
We should send them a picture of Angry Allie face, her little duck face. Oh my god. There's this picture, which we won't show, but it's of Allie when she was, we dressed her up as a duck.
Very
and
angry.
she's a very angry duck, and it's hilarious. I could probably just make the face.
Tony Puglisi. Pugliese. I'm really happy you've included Lion in that list of annoying characters.
Lion?
Another Final Fantasy 11 player.
Oh.
All you non-MMO people.
I know, I'm sorry, Daryl's. Yay, Cloud.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy 9. Okay, so best character, most annoying character. Okay, so we talked about the music earlier. Many people said it was some of their one of the most favorite parts of the game. What's your favorite track? Come on, that's an interesting one, I think. Yeah. Final Fantasy Union Calendar. What would we put on each day?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Just random faces.
Yeah.
You and I doing different poses. You could wear the Moogle blanket on one of them, which is behind you.
I wear the Moogle blanket on all of them.
What would you say is your favourite track?
A Final Fantasy 9? 10-9?
Why did you say 10?
I don't know.
You just got 10 on the brain.
I do. I'd say Kuja's theme. I think Kuja's theme is really cool.
I really like Bron Ball as well. It's got a nice intro.
You're Not Alone is lovely though.
Yeah.
It's like it's just such a passionate theme.
Paul, I said one. You can only have one track.
Yeah,
That's
but Crossing
two.
Those Hills is so cute. Like, I love the fact that it's Melodies of Life. And just the sound.
You've done 3 now, Paul. You're not getting how this works. You can't just keep listing them.
I love the sound of the instruments in Crossing Those Hills.
Welcome, Cole Pugno 7.
Welcome.
Lauren actually probably is drunk.
Hey. Hey. What I do in my free time is none of your business.
It's okay. Everyone seems to be supporting you.
Thank you. We could be near 19.
Final Fantasy 10-9. Yeah, it's true.
10-9.
Or that could be actually
I don't play by the rules.
the ninth part of Final Fantasy X, which, based on the way they're going, is more than likely.
It's true.
They just can't help themselves. They keep wanting to make more sequels and sequels of the sequels.
La 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 la.
Is that the Garnet version?
La 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 la.
Hey, Callum.
Hi, Callum.
Welcome.
Welcome to the chat, where Lauren spoils everything and wrecks your hopes and dreams.
It's what you do.
Oh, just
Memes
a money.
needle.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's going on?
I don't know. Thank you, Mems and Needle.
Where did Noctis come into this conversation?
I don't know. Noctis has appeared. He's just popped in to say hello, and now he's gone back down below.
What are our opinions on Beatrix as a character?
I love Beatrix. I think she is so cool.
I want her to be in Dissidia NT.
I want to be her.
There is no rational explanation as to why she cannot be in Dissidia NT.
I want to be her.
She needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
The hype is there.
I just love the relationship between her and Steiner. I just think they're so cute. I love her. I love the fact that she's like blind as well.
Is she actually blind though?
Well,
or is it like an Auron kind of?
Yeah, might be.
Like, oh, I only use one arm.
It's just, yeah, it just makes me look more bamf.
But yeah, I really like Beatrix as a character. I thought it was a good kind of introduction into the fact that obviously like you're kind of the renegades, and she's like
there to bring you down a size and tell you no.
And the fact that Steiner just sucks in comparison to her.
Yeah, like, oh my god, it's just so funny.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on a Dissidia around here, but I'm annoyed with the characters that they have announced.
Yeah.
Like, there's no... Beatrix would be such a good character for them to put in there.
I just don't understand, like, what is the benefit of playing this new game when you don't have any new characters added in?
Dave from Final Fantasy 15.
Dave.
The worst hunter ever.
Yeah, plus a...
How many times did it take us to beat Ozma? I've actually never beaten Ozma.
I've never gone for it because I didn't know he existed.
It's like I'm not really a completionist when it comes to Final Fantasy games.
I wasn't. I am now.
Final Fantasy 8 is the only one where I went absolutely crazy and just blitzed the crap out of it. But all the other ones, I never really did that much. I just kind of... I did bits, but most of the time I just wanted to finish the main story and then just kind of left it. And even with the more recent ones, it's kind of the thing I've done. I've never really felt like I wanted to do more. And like Ozma, I know you've got to do all the male Moogle networking stuff to get to that point.
Yeah,
it just never really
appealed.
I never really felt like I needed to do it because you don't really get anything out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just ignorance. I didn't know. I didn't really know much about Final Fantasy and these side quests until Final Fantasy X-2 when I got a strategy guide, and that was the only time that I was really made aware of the fact that there is so much more to Final Fantasy games than just sort of playing the story. I think I explored a bit in Final Fantasy VIII. I got to the place where you can get Bahamut and got scared and ran back out. But other than that, I didn't really explore much in the older Final Fantasies. Now I really do want to go back and play them again, and I have. I've pretty much completed Final Fantasy VII now and Final Fantasy VIII, like sort of almost 100%, if not 100%.
Did you beat Emerald?
I think I did, yeah. Yeah, I think I beat Emerald. I think there was one other thing that I didn't do.
No, it's around Gold Chocobo.
No, I did Gold Chocobo. Because remember, I did that while we were holidaying in America.
Army Slash?
Yep. Yeah, I did pretty much everything. I just forget. I think it was something like... It was something about... Maybe... Was it Gil or something? It was one of the Steam achievements that I didn't get. And I was just like, I'm not bothering with that.
Lost Cost. That's easy. Who else would I want in Dissidia aside from Beatrix? Caius, man. Caius needs to be in Dissidia. How is Caius not in Dissidia?
I think I kind of know. I think I know what it is. I think I didn't learn all the blue magic. That was one of the things.
Enemy skill.
Yeah. I didn't do the one that you only get once in every playthrough. That was the one I missed. And I was just like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I got the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum Trophy. It took me quite a while. And I waited until they patched it so I didn't have to fight the Adamantoids properly.
I just haven't had time to go back and do stuff at the moment. I'm just like, I just need to get this game done because I just don't have the time. I need to move on to other games or just enjoy myself.
But yeah, who would you want? Who do you guys think they should add to Dissidia? Ignoring all the kind of original Dissidia characters that they're just wanting to spam in there, but if they were going to do a new character that hasn't been in Dissidia before, who would you actually want to be in Dissidia? I saw a lot of people saying they wanted Vayne, but I just, after replaying Final Fantasy 12 again, I just don't really feel like Vayne offers that much. Like, I feel like because you fight against Cid twice, why? And Vayne, when you fight against him, it's just kind of a bit of a boring fight, to be honest.
Caius is from Final Fantasy 13 too. Last cause. I did watch the new cutscenes. I don't really want to like spoil it for anyone though who hasn't watched it. But like, I mean, I know that there's some people who are really angry at what they've done, but to be honest, like, I mean, like, so if you haven't watched it, there's like there's a couple cutscenes that they've added in, and it can come off a bit half-assed because essentially they're just like screenshots. They're not really full scenes that they've put together. But like, really, at least they did it, I sort of think. Like, you know, at least they've come out and they've said, like, you know, we made a mistake by not having this kind of stuff in, and so therefore let's that's amazing. Valtis Tigro. But yeah, like, I mean,
someone actually made me laugh.
Oh,
I commend you,
Good job,
Valtis.
girls.
I commend you.
I know that a lot of people are angry about the theories that have ruined, but at the same time, you have to think, like, they're theories. They're theories.
And it's like Katase just crapped on everyone's parade with all the other theories.
I know.
Like, it's like, that's...
Somebody's made a whole site about Squall is dead theory, and he's just basically ruined that guy's whole site. Like, imagine how he feels.
I think that's the thing. Like, if you've come up with theories and there was a lot of interpretation that was available because of the ambiguity of the story, then if they come out and close off that ambiguity and it ruins your theory, then you're naturally going to be angry because you probably feel that what you came up with was better.
Yeah, which is fine. That's what fanfiction.net is for. But yeah, I mean, like, there is a sense that, like, you feel disappointed in what they came up with because maybe you think it's inferior to what you had thought up in your sort of thing. But at the same time, we're not the creators. Like, if this is what the creators' intentions were for the relationships that they've created in the game, then we have to kind of just respect them and move on with it. But, like, we can't just sit here and be like, oh, I'm so angry that they didn't do this theory that I thought up and blah, 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 blah. And it's just kind of like, well, you know, you can either just be angry and, like, hateful and spiteful about it, or you can just sort of see it as Square Enix has listened to us. They release this as free content, and yeah, and, like, they've noticed that they've effed up, essentially.
I was kind of underwhelmed by the depth of it, but then it was still like 10 minutes of content, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that they had to hire the voice actors back in order to do this stuff as well, like, that's not easy. That's not cheap either. Like, they did, like, a decent job for the time that they probably had to work on it, and for the fact that they're not really
11 months is what they've had to work
for the fact that they're not earning any money from that.
Well, I mean, they're kind of are
really.
In that they've just had a load of people again talk about Final Fantasy 15 again, so like, it might give a small boost of sales. Like, you
Possibly.
never know. 2B would be good in NT. 2B would be good in Dissidia.
2B. But yeah, so, like, I mean, for everybody who's upset, like, it's it's cool that you're upset. Like, you know, it just is what it is. But like at the same time, you know, you can't really be upset that you didn't have the same ideas as the creator.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation because obviously it's difficult to know whether or not they had that story originally intended or whether they've just now kind of like what's the word, like they've just put it in there now, like they just thought about it after the fact, and like part of it could have been that they've done it differently to mess up the theories, because it's not like Kataze where like it's kind of down to interpretation, but he's just come out and said no, that's not the way it is. This one they've said, well, here's some theories, we're injecting new story in to ruin them.
And yeah, I do agree with that though. It's just like, let's make Noctis just freeze to death so that he can listen to my story. That is so on point. I'm trying not to spoil. I can't speak for the chat, but I'm desperately trying not to spoil.
What are you trying not to spoil?
What's going on with the scenes.
Ah, okay. Just so I didn't spoil it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I have seen a lot of positivity around the cutscenes. I think it's good that they're putting it in there, and you know, I think if you've got invested in kind of your coming up with your own interpretations of the story, then it can be frustrating if it's now different because it wasn't in the original game. They've now just decided to supplement it, and it's not like the chapter 13 verse 2 where it didn't really change anything. It just added a bit more character motivation. This is like lore backstory, so there's motivation, like big things that it has changed in terms of like the how everything came about, whereas like the additional Ravis story didn't really change anything apart from because we already knew that it happened anyway. It was just showing it.
Tintin, as for the DLC, if you're talking about the paid DLC, Daryl and I have refused to buy it. Mainly because we're just like we're not for DLC. Like the biggest message that you can send to a company to say that you're not happy with the way that they're doing stuff is by not giving money to them. So we just decided to make the executive decision to not buy the DLC, and we just kind of keep updated online with what's happening with like the story sequences of the DLC. But like at the end of the day, like I definitely disagree with the way that they handled things, and so yeah, I mean, for episode Ignis, it's gonna even episode Prompto, I was a bit like, oh, I really kind of want that, and like Comrades as well. But like with episode Ignis, I'm a bit like, I really am interested, but it's just
we could talk about the DLC for a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we have.
I have general issues with a lot of the way that DLC is done anyway, because if you look at the Final Fantasy 15 DLC, it doesn't look like it was I mean, Tabata even went on record saying that when they announced the season pass, they knew they wanted to do a multiplayer piece. They didn't really have anything more than that, so they basically just made it up after Final Fantasy 15 released. Like they clearly didn't intend to have a lot of story in Comrades. Now they've changed that slightly. It may not have even been intended to be around the Dark World, and they've just done that because everyone was complaining. Like it's just kind of it wasn't planned, and that's the kind of thing that bugs me. Like the fact that they've just kind of released the game and then they're just like, well, how can we kind of just eke it out a little bit more?
And that's fine, Rachel. I mean, like, you know, we all do these things. I've bought every Sims 4 game and have been continually disappointed with every single expansion that I've bought of The Sims 4. We're not perfect, and you know, a lot of us don't realize it to start with, but like, yeah, it just sort of is what it is. We just sort of made the decision from the beginning that we weren't going to do it. It has been hard, but we've tried to stick with it. But yeah,
I think so. I always look at it like the best kind of DLC for me is stuff like Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, where it's
like a separate thing, but it's like it's cool. Like it's a different sort of story, but it uses the same what am I trying to think of? The same assets. Yeah, same assets, like a different scenario. And like the Yakuza one did that as well. Didn't they have like a zombie Yakuza? Yeah. And did Ninja Gaiden have one? Yeah, Ninja Gaiden had one as well, didn't they?
Maybe.
Either way, like that kind of thing is really cool. Like I like that because it's optional, but it's also offering a bit more. And yeah, those kind of ones I stand by. I really don't understand, like with Final Fantasy, with Dissidia, why they're not doing a model much like League of Legends, where you can earn all the characters over time by getting enough points. But if you want the characters faster, if you want them outright, you can buy them. So like it's just so irritating with that.
So Ragnarok Master, I get your point, but if that's the case, then maybe they just shouldn't have done it. Because I mean, Final Fantasy 13 Part 2 had horrific DLC.
Yeah.
And even if you look at Final Fantasy 15's DLC, Episode Gladiolus was generally panned by everyone. Episode Prompto, they kind of got better, but should it really be the case that they have to learn what DLC people want? Like it's pretty insulting, I think.
Yeah.
To a degree. Like it just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Yeah.
The fact that they're basically just using us as testing people again. It's like, oh well, Episode Gladiolus wasn't that great, but you bought it anyway. Oh well.
Yeah.
We'll try and make Episode Prompto better.
And the biggest issue that I had with the DLC was the fact that it was not included in the Ultimate Collector's Edition. I thought that was shady as F. I thought that was so horrible that these people were spending significant amounts of money on this stupid collector's edition, and it wasn't even the complete game. Like I am genuinely, like you can see, I'm livid about that, because what was that to them? Like these people are already giving you a load of money that they wouldn't have already done for essentially a Play Arts Kai and some artwork and 2 little additional weapons that you can't get elsewhere. You couldn't have thrown in the season pass in that? Like, you couldn't have just done that? Like, are you serious? Are
really,
you kidding me?
I think the DLC works in a way, like you mentioned before, League of Legends. Like, if they, or like Final Fantasy X-2 had it the same way, 13-2 had it the same way, like extra Colosseum battles, like different skins for your characters, like slightly different weapons, those kind of stuff that don't really mean anything. But like, if you're talking about story, I think Mass Effect did it in a better way. Like it was not. It didn't affect the actual story of the game. It was a continuation, or there were like it was usually like side quests and side stories and things like that.
Yeah, and whereas, like Fallout 4 as well. You can get the complete Fallout 4 experience, but then they have this additional stuff.
And the thing that, because we covered it in a previous video like a month ago, but so with Final Fantasy 13 Part 2, they obviously did DLC for the first time. They did the cardinal sin of including the true ending in a piece of DLC as opposed to the actual game, which was just stupid. They obviously got mass backlash for it, to the point where with Lightning Returns they didn't do any DLC because they were just so worried. You'd think that when it came around to Final Fantasy 15 they'd have taken that feedback into consideration, yet they just did the same thing again. It was like, okay, so we're going to actively show you in the story roughly where the DLC is going to be. Like, we're gonna just put in random black holes of information that, it's like, oh well, if you want to find out more information about this, then you've got to play this piece of DLC.
I know.
It's like, but it shouldn't be that way. It should feel natural.
But if anything, I feel like they're losing out on money, because people are just gonna be like, all right, well, screw it, I won't buy the DLC and I'll just watch it on YouTube.
But loads of people have bought the DLC.
I know. It's true. They've already got your money anyway.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's the whole thing going around that Final Fantasy VII Remake parts and everything. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I know.
If they even are going to do DLC for it. I hope they don't.
I know.
But
at the same time, they've made a load of money. So they've got their information.
I mean, like, for me, Comrades is
in its original guise, without all the story content they've added in, that's to me is DLC.
Yeah,
Like, it's
that's
not-
additional, but it's like a separate game.
Yeah.
Like it's like an altogether different game.
Like that's a perfect example. Like, it's a whole multiplayer expansion. You can do all this co-op stuff and everything. Like, and it should have been completely unrelated to the story as
Yeah.
it was originally intended to be. Fine with that. Fine with it whatsoever. If people want to spend extra money to go in and enjoy the game in that new way, then great. But if it's, oh, I've got to pay extra amount of money now to get the actual, like, the full story of the game, to understand more about this and understand more about that, then I don't know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
Spoiler alert, guys. Final Fantasy VII Remake is just going to be DLC. Like, Final Fantasy VII Remake is the DLC, guys. Calling it right now.
I reckon Cissnei is going to be in the remake.
Yeah. She's just too cute. She's too sweet. But yeah, Yojimbo, if you had to pay out the nose for Yojimbo, that would be horrendous. And then he just rejects your money. Like, the game just says, no, sorry. I'm not messing around with you.
Yeah, I wonder if Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to have DLC.
I don't know. It's a good sort of thought to have, really. I mean, it's just a shame, really, at the end of the day.
I think, again, they might have it where it's kind of optional stuff with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Although they already made the Kingdom Hearts people buy all new handheld systems
That's
to play
true.
their games, so I don't think like a £20 DLC will be much of an ask for the people who've like bought all the new handhelds for Kingdom Hearts games.
No.
That's why I purposely didn't buy them, because I was just like, I can't spend so much money on.
But I mean, like, how
handhelds.
much would it suck if they did Kingdom Hearts 3 and then they were like, oh, by the way, here's an extra world you can play, but you have to pay for it.
Yeah, here's the Final Fantasy world that you guys have all been waiting for. You have to buy DLC in order to get it.
Or here's the Toy Story. Yeah, Toy Story's already in it. But imagine if they made Toy Story like the DLC world.
Yeah.
Which is basically what they're doing with this City NT. It's like, oh, you want these 6 characters? Well, you got to pay for them.
Carrot, here you go. Here's the carrot.
There wasn't really a mention of the season pass for Final Fantasy 15
No.
until
Probably not
I think
until like after. Was it after Uncovered?
Yeah, it was only a couple of months before the game came out, I think.
I remember there was speculation because like that was the thing, wasn't it? Because everybody got the Ultimate Collector's Edition after the Uncovered event.
Then they announced the season pass.
Later down the line, somebody leaked the fact that they saw that there was a season pass, and then they announced the season pass, and then they didn't actually tell the Ultimate Collector's Edition people that, hey, you're not getting the season pass. But I still think that was so screwed up.
Depressing, Ryan. Depressing.
Depressing.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll keep Kingdom Hearts away from this channel.
I know. Yeah, like Nier had none. And
Nier's had one.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, it had it had that boss fight where you fight against the CEO of Platinum Games. And,
but it was like a funny one, wasn't it?
yeah, and they had a couple of different outfits and weapons and stuff.
Like I love Nier. I think that's the thing. I think like you hurt a game's reputation a lot if you try to exploit it for everything. Because like I wonder if a lot of people will buy DLC for Final Fantasy games in the future after Final Fantasy 15.
Well, I thought that people wouldn't have bought it after the mess that was Final Fantasy 13 Part 2.
But it wasn't that. It wasn't as popular, was it? It wasn't as well known.
Yeah.
If it was Final Fantasy 13 that screwed up with the DLC, it might have been different. But because it was Final Fantasy 13
Well, I think
too,
people just will... With DLC, it's a smaller purchase, and I feel like people are willing to give it the benefit of the doubt because they want to find out more about these characters. The fact that they shouldn't have to is...
I know. Well, that's the problem, isn't it? They made a game that had like a very sort of just unfinished story, and then they were just like, "Here's DLC to help you, maybe." Kind of. Not really.
This conversation took a dark path.
I know it did.
We were so
We're
happy
going
talking...
into darkness, like in Kingdom Hearts.
We need to go back into the
We can't
light.
go back into the light.
Um,
Do you get it? Because black and light and darkness.
See you, Alex. See you later.
Oh, bye.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 9, everyone. How many of you guys picked it up on PlayStation 4? How many of you guys are still playing on the PlayStation 1? I did see some people saying they picked it up on their mobile phones, which is interesting. How does it play on that?
I know. I've been wondering that myself. Like, they must just be so, I don't know, taxing on your phone.
I was
Like,
playing
my
Final
phone
Fantasy
gets really
1.
hot.
I was playing Final Fantasy 1 on the mobile, and it was alright to play.
Did you finish that in the end?
No.
No, you gave up on it.
Where did I get to?
You were getting, like, really far. I think you might have... Did you get into Matoya?
Oh, Matoya's like right at the beginning.
Yeah. So you passed up it, at least.
Beat the elf guy. I'd beaten Lich. I think I'd just beaten Lich. Got the Earth Shrine. I think I was on my way to the next shrine. I think.
I'm really an advocate now for buying things on Steam. Like, it's just so easy. I just enjoy it. Like, just being able to just be like, bloop, alright, got it on my PC. I'm happy.
Do you have to be Ozma for the platinum?
Oh, you might need to. But that's the trouble, though.
Although
as
these
well.
days, like this is the thing that like it's not really a challenge to do it anymore because there's so many like with you being Emerald, it was like all right, let's just look up a YouTube video of the best combination.
Yeah, it was really easy.
It's like super easy. Whereas
Yeah.
like when you were doing it originally without the strategy guides and everything, it
Oh,
was so hard.
I went after it. I went after emeralds when I was younger, and I was around the submarine, and I attacked it because I didn't know what it was. And I thought it was easy.
Your ass handed
And
to
I
you.
had my butt handed to me, and then I didn't go back.
What, into the sea at all?
Well, I didn't go chasing after that thing. No, I only went after it later when I knew what it was. That freaked me out. Oh, G-Bike.
I'm really curious to see how that's going to be in the remake, especially as they made the whole mobile game for it. Are you playing all those games at the same time, Jennifer? Tactics, Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 14.
Jeez, that's intense.
Alright, I think...
Yeah, I'm getting really tired.
I think we're going to have to call it a day there, guys. We almost got the hour mark. Almost the hour mark.
Why, where are we?
It is 10.
Yeah. Aren't we at the hour mark? Or not?
We're at 58 minutes, 24 seconds
58
right
minutes. We can do it. We can count it down.
Well, by the time we've
I know, gone
done
through
the wrap up
everything.
of everything,
Yeah.
everyone who's in the chat right now, please like the video.
Like us.
Thank you all for joining us. If you want to join the giveaway where we're giving away a Balthier Playops Kai and a Moogle plush, then please consider supporting us on Patreon. That way, all you got to do is just support us on Patreon and you will get entered into the draw automatically. I did mention in the 32,000 subscriber video that we're going to be doing a surprise giveaway. Surprise! Throughout the month. All I'm gonna say is you're just gonna have to watch our videos, and the giveaway will materialize at some point in a unconventional way. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Yeah, I've just got to try and figure out which video it's gonna be. So
Yeah.
It's like the radio where they're like, we're gonna play a track at one point in the day. You gotta listen all day to find out. It's not that crazy, but I'm not saying you have to watch all our videos if you don't like them.
We're going to have video DLC.
But
We're going to charge you for a DLC. If you want to see the completed version of our video, you have to pay. We'd be true Square Enix people.
Oh dear. But yeah, also Lauren's going to be streaming again back tomorrow. And
I'm so excited. I've been getting excited for the streams. Like on Friday when it's done,
that's
I'm
good.
just like, I want to do more. I know, we're getting so tired. We're breaking down.
But yeah, see you guys next week.
Yeah, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.